Oh, I love this. Reminds me of the Bulls in the 90s.
What's going to happen, Nate?
NBA legend Michael Jordan is one of the world's most iconic athletes and a global marketing powerhouse. Now the man who runs Jordan's biggest brand is revealing a dark secret he kept hidden for decades, even from the superstar himself. This morning, Nike Jordan brand chairman Larry Miller, also the former president of NBA's Portland Trail Blazers, is out with his new book, Jump: My Secret Journey from the Streets to the Boardroom. He's sharing the story with special correspondent James Brown in an interview you're seeing first on CBS Mornings. JB, what's up?
Good to see all of you guys. And, of course, he knows Gayle very well. But who doesn't she know, right? So no question about it. Hey, good morning to you all. And you're about to hear from a man who rose to the pinnacle of one of America's best-known brands, working right alongside, as Nate mentioned, Michael Jordan, and find out what he was hiding all the way to the top.
I didn't have to do this, right? I could have just continued to keep doing what I was doing and hope that it never came out.
Larry Miller led Michael Jordan's best-known brand.
For us, it was like, okay, let's try and create a brand that is the Michael Jordan of brands.
That's him right behind Jordan in 2005 on 60 Minutes.
So it's not just, here's my name, use it.
Oh, no. No, I do have a sense, I like control.
Making it all the more shocking that while the pair shared courtside seats, for decades Miller didn't share his darkest secret.
It's like not just what happens on the court.
How his own story started in a far different court.
Fortunate for me, it never came out.
Arrested at age 12 and in a gang by 13, in 1965 at this West Philadelphia intersection, Miller's young life came to a crossroads.
I had a gun and we just decided we were going to go look for somebody. One of my gang members had been killed. I was angry, drunk, and crazy. Mr. White just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Miller, just 16 at the time, shot and killed 18-year-old David White. White left behind an 8-month-old son and a daughter who wasn't born yet.
It was totally senseless. There was nothing that he did to cause this.
Did you ever even fathom that there was a possibility that you could do something like that?
No, I didn't. There was always this voice in the back of my head saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. And the thing is, I just wouldn't listen to it.
Quickly arrested, at this youth prison, Miller earned his GED.
I gave the valedictorian speech at the high school graduation inside the penitentiary. I remember my closing line, it was, let's not serve time, let's let time serve us.
Miller served fewer than 5 years for murder. By age 20, he was already out.
Got out, knocked around, got pulled back into street stuff.
Sent back to prison for a series of stick-ups. Here, Miller again saw education as the key to his release.
You could actually take college classes inside the jail. It was because of that program that I was able to really change my life. The crazy thing is I've been out now for 40 years and there are still people there that were there when I was there.
Which could have been you.
Which could have absolutely been me.
Instead, Miller earned an accounting degree from Temple University. Then, up for a significant corporate job, he made the fateful decision to divulge his past.
He said, and I had an offer here already to give you, but I can't give it to you now. And at that point, I decided that I wasn't going to share this anymore. I wasn't going to lie, and I never did.
Miller landed jobs at Campbell Soup, Janssen Swimwear, and then Nike. But in the book, he writes, the secret's malignant grip on my life had grown more toxic. Dark dreams fueled paranoia during the day, which made the next night's dreams even darker.
Nightmares, migraines. There were a couple times I ended up having to go to the ER because I was holding all of this angst and fear.
Miller's oldest daughter and co-author, Layla Lacey, here visiting him in prison, said it took over 12 years to convince her father to come forward. How do you think your dad handled the secret all this time?
It's funny, you know, until we started writing, I didn't know about the migraines. I didn't know about the nightmares. I didn't know how he was struggling.
And Lacey also struggled learning the details of her father's crimes.
I saw them as a mother of a black boy, and it was painful, but it helped me to come into an understanding of we all deserve a second chance. Now there's no one that I meet ever that I think is unredeemable.
And on his own path to redemption, Miller knew whom to call.
I remember telling Michael, and he said, I agree with your daughter. You need to tell this story.
Tragic news for basketball superstar Michael Jordan.
Jordan, whose own father was murdered just weeks after he won his third NBA title, urged Miller to contact the family of David White. But a month after Miller told Sports Illustrated he planned to reach out, White's family spoke out to say they had not heard from Miller.
It was painful. It still is painful.
This is Sam.
The daughter David White never met was upset to learn his name never even appears in Miller's book.
I didn't like how that made me feel that he did not give my father a name. It was just as if he was some homeless person. That hurt.
Were you still trying to shield a part of the story? Was there any lack of respect for them as a family?
In hindsight, I should have reached out to them, should have tried to locate and find them much sooner than we did.
Last month, they finally met. How did it go?
Went great.
So when I listened to him, he remorseful. He had his eyes watered up, and I felt okay to forgive him.
It happened. He did it. And I forgive him.
What compelled you to speak the words, I forgive you?
Someone asked Jesus, how many times must I forgive? As many times as necessary. Mm-hmm. And we all have sinned. So I had to forgive him.
Was that a very tough process for you to go through?
I told Mr. Miller, if I was 30 years younger, I'd jump across that table and whip his behind.
But now?
But now, I'm good.
More than 40 years after leaving prison, Miller says he's also finally free. How badly did it eat at you?
The thought and the idea that I took the life of a young black man has eaten at me for years. And I'm hoping that maybe, there's a 16-year-old Larry Miller out there that's about to do something crazy, and by sharing this, maybe it'll stop someone or make someone else think twice about doing something that they're going to regret later in life.
Larry Miller certainly is walking the road to redemption, and he plans to donate some of his book's proceeds to the Philadelphia Juvenile Justice Services Center and the Vera Institute of Justice, paying it forward. And he's also working with the White family to set up scholarships, plural, to benefit descendants of David White and others in the West Philadelphia neighborhood where they both grew up. And let me just say quickly, while this story certainly is about one of redemption for Larry Miller, it is absolutely about forgiveness on the part of the family. Yes. Many people characterize it, having anger against somebody who's done something to you is taking the poison yourself, thinking it's going to kill the other person. Ms. Mack is the real deal.
Because all it does is eat you up. There's so many different layers to this story. I am so glad that he reached out to the White family and that they were able to have a meeting. And then for Larry to admit that at 16, he killed him basically for no reason. Yeah. And when you think about that, when you're 16 years old and the decisions that you made, and how that must have eaten at him all these years.
And he talked about it with his dreams, but I heard Nate comment about getting drunk as well with cheap wine. None of it excuses it, but absolutely.
I never knew this story. I just got the book yesterday. I can't wait to read it. I never knew this story. It just shows you how everybody has a story, and you never know what's going on in someone's life.
And,
For sure.
And his story proves, and I think this is one of the best stories we've ever aired, it proves that the thing you do on the worst day of your life is not all you are.
Yeah.
And a number of Nate's friends are doing this with the Players Coalition in the NFL, going around to make significant changes specifically in the justice system, as you.
But Tony, to your point, Larry Miller did say that people that are still in prison from when he was there.
Absolutely.
I think that's astounding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they have created a scholarship or scholarships in the name of David White, the man that was killed. I mean, you can't replace a life, but you can make the relatives of his family happy.
I love the forgiveness from the
no
family.
doubt about it.
That is the story.
He's clearly remorseful, too. You feel
Great
that.
stuff,
Yes,
JB,
no
as
doubt.
usual,
Thank you.
man. I'll see you Sunday. Right?
Absolutely.
Larry Miller's book, Jump, is on sale today.